Welcome to the live skills workshop. Well done to be here. My name is Fredo Moreno. I'm human relations instructor. I'm going to tell you my short story so you can know me a bit. I was raised by a single mother. She was cheerful, outgoing. It was a great childhood, lots of love, growing out of my own free will, no restrictions. I used to get back from school, do my homework, and then play games, sports, go to parties, hang out with my friends. I used to love to watch movies or videos or TV of superheroes, suspense, like series like Alfred Hitchcock, Step Beyond, Kung Fu TV series. It was a lot of ignorance, a lot of irresponsibility, but it was a lot of fun. In the mid-60s, I was born in the 56. So in the mid-60s, I was like a teenager. And that's when I started experiencing the Beat generation. I don't know if you are familiar with that. The Beat generation changed the world. The Beat generation started changing the world at that time. There was a general acceptance of drugs, and the addiction took over. I was a teen. I was very young, like probably 13 years, 14 years old. But all those years on my puberty, in my safe bubble that I have created, it started to crack, and then I started being vulnerable to others. As a youngster, I started facing obligations and responsibilities. I started to become more shy and introverted. My mind was blank. I couldn't think. I was overthinking. I started building up confusion, losing freedom, feeling trapped, and life becomes serious, right? I was wishing stability, happiness, prosperity. Now, I grew up as a Christian Roman Catholic in a family, and I studied the Bible. I agree with God. God is love, love is God, remedy for sins and sinful misbehavior. And Jesus Christ was the Son of God, and the Virgin of Guadalupe was the superior virgin in Mexico. Now, when I came to America in early 1979, I was 23-year-old, and nobody recognized the Virgin of Guadalupe. I said, wow. And they didn't recognize other saints. I said, wow, this is not cool. This is like a sacrilege, right? So it was not good. And I started discovering other religions like Protestants, Baptists, Lutheran, Methodists, Mormons, Jehovah Witness, Christian Science, etc. And I said, wow, all these religions, what is this? It doesn't make any sense. There's only one religion, and that's the Roman Catholic Church, and all should bow to it. You know, that was my religion. And I didn't understand. I was really confused about religions. And then I was looking at the Asian religions, you know, the Krishna worshiping cows, the fat Buddha, not believing that they were true religions. I was like, wow, those are just kind of like other things, right? Now, I was thinking, wow, I was Roman Catholic. Maybe am I silly to other people, other countries, other religions? Do I look like silly, like they look silly to me? Anyway, so then I learned that this is the land of freedom of religion. So I started to study other religions. I learned wisdom from each religious prophet, and I learned what every religion is about, like in general way, not very in detail. And I started to see that religion is something like it's to believe that there is something greater than ourselves. It's the source of a power that we wish to get back to, a promise to return to the spiritual home we have lost, wishing to recover our spiritual freedom. So then that religion really started to make sense, the concept, right? And how it was manifested in different religions. And I learned spiritual truths, spiritual wishes. I find love, harmony, decency in all religions, even if they were fake and there was hypocrisy, you know, like in some Catholic, they were like really hypocrites. But, you know, it's better if they were honest, but at least it helped anyway, you know. But I could see that there were religious solutions to constant struggle. There was relief of suffering, help us to find relief from mental pain, anxiety, depression, uncertainty. Religions help you find comfort, security. It's like a huge helping hand. It's really good. So then I became eclectic. That means I was taking from all religious prophets and I started to see what works and what made sense to me. So I was not just like a Catholic, but I became like a eclectic, taking beliefs from many religions. Now, as a teenager, I started to become aware together with the Beat generation and the drug society, starting to have a drug society. I started to become aware. Just before that, I started to become aware of family and social continuous unsolved problems and suffering. Always ups and downs. People suffering. What's going on? There were social, political, economical problems. And those problems actually started from the very first civilization. The same unsolved problems, moral decline, corruption, slavery, wars. Is that endless? Is that going to be like that forever? And it's actually not just happening in the past and it's happening now, but it's moving forward into the future. So, wow, this is really something. Can we do something about it? What are the answers? Where are the answers? Schooling failed, humanities failed, government failed, religious failed. I was questioning God, what's happening? So I was searching for the correct answers to life, like in philosophy, social sciences, personal development. And eventually I reached the conclusion, the basic problem is something to do with the mind. There is something wrong with the mind. And this was like a continuous problem, and there were no workable answers. And then a friend suggested to me a basic book called Dianetics, The Modern Science of Mental Health by L. Ron Hubbard. And I read it, and not just that, he offered the solutions to the mental problems, and I started changing. I said, wow, this is really good. Finally, someone discovered what is wrong with the mind, provided a complete solution. Most of the time, the solution just takes like a few hours or maybe a couple of weeks or something like that, but it's not like a months and years or something like that. It's just like a very fast. I started to turn my shame, blame, and regret to being satisfied and proud. I started to get rid of mental trash, bad feelings, conclusions. I started to have more control over my mind. I started feeling that I can deserve, that it's okay to be me, it's okay to be myself. It's okay to like myself, it's okay to prosper. No more fear of the present or the future. I started to have a peace of mind. My friends started experiencing similar results and being more at cause over their life. I started a new life consistently increasing self-confidence, increasing certainty. I started to see that it was possible to have happiness, harmony, stability, and prosperity. Now the transformation was like I was pretty satisfied with my accomplishments, the way I am, my skills, how I live life. It was not always like that. Like I told you before, it was always like hating myself. Why do I have to suffer? Why am I being rejected? What if I had a father to guide me instead just like having a struggling single mother? Or why is this happening to me? I wish this part of my life had been different. I wish I could live life like Mr. Jones. Deep dissatisfaction. But basically, my life was out of control. And I keep failing and wondering why. Well, I was just assuming that, okay, life is like that. That's my dark destiny, and that's what it's meant to be. Sometimes people assume that because we are alive, we know how to live life. And then they decide to remain ignorant and keep failing. They don't try to find out. And nobody ever taught us in school how to study, how to build life skills, how to nourish. There's like lack of know-how on nutrition, relationships, economy, finances, laws, government, ethics, religion. And therefore, people start suffering constant depression, anxiety, and stress, and then they become addicted to alcohol and drugs. Anyway, so that's my short story. So